Myoho Renge Kyo. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Hi, how are you? Good, I hope. Safe? To those of you who are new, please make sure to check out the video on the homepage of this channel. It'll give you clues as to how to use the entire resource, the website, the podcast, the bookstore, the mandala store, so on. Those of you who are regular or returning, thank you so much for being here. Thank you all for your practice and your study. All of this resource is solely to help engage you in your own insights so that you can feel confident in your practice. Yes? All right. Today, big subject. We're not going to, it's another entry in Buddhism Reference, which you can get as an ebook or print book, whatever. There's also, no, I think it only comes, I think there's a paperback version. I'll have to check. I'm so focused on my corrections, and boy, are there many, in the translation that I got of the Mahaparinirvana Sutra. There are not a lot of good translations out there, and I'm doing my best to make this one as accurate as I can with a lot of annotations to make it worthy of your study, yeah? But anyway, yeah, it's like I'm doing a word-for-word investigation, correction, and it's just soaking what little brain matter I have left. Getting old, folks. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about the treasure tower. The treasure tower is it's most of the Lotus Sutra, isn't it? The treasure tower is basically our Gohonzon mind, actually is our Gohonzon mind, from the interpretation of its endless opportunity, its fount of wisdom and maximizing our potential, turning our life from dukkha and struggles, right? Stress, anxiety, to amazement, joy, compassion. It's awakening Buddha. The treasure tower. It's a huge, I know I say this a lot, it's like the 3,000 realms. The 3,000 realms, the treasure tower, the daimoku. If you can grasp those three, welcome to the ultimate teachings of Buddhism. Yeah? All right. So here we go. Treasure tower. For Nichiren and our era of practice of Shakyamuni's Myoho Renge Kyo, Lotus Sutra, the entire chapter of the treasure tower is our very model, our method, and act of enlightenment. The treasure tower is an immense metaphor for the engine of life. That is, the process of instantiation from potential, or the formations from quiescent energy into the realm of form. This process is Buddha, universal, without time and space, resulting in the experience of time and space as samsaric. Within this concept is the multiple truths of Buddhism as follows. I apologize, I'm wearing the wrong glasses, but hopefully I'll be able to get through this. I don't think I brought No, I didn't bring them. Number 1, all of the cosmos is enlightenment. Now, because I'm in the midst of this in the Mahaparinirvana Sutra, the confusion between Tathagata and Buddha is rife throughout this translation. But I don't think it's that difficult for you to imagine that everything that exists in the universe, including you and me, are the result of processes that this form could only exist, the form of your house, the dirt, the trees, your pets, you and I, because the potential for this to exist was there first. But that potential is just potential unless it gets manifested, unless the conditions are right for the tendencies to take certain shape in order to manifest. And as that formula works, any tiny little subtleties in potential are going to result in tiny little differences in form. It makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, this goes back to when you first played with clay or silly putty or mud or sand, right? You go to the beach, sand can be, it's just sand. But with a little effort and imagination, you can use different tools, your bucket, a spoon or a shovel, your hands, some water, and you can build a castle, a moat, a mountain, all sorts of things. Of course, they'll dissolve and go right back into sand. The sand doesn't know castle, doesn't know mountain, doesn't know moat. The sand's just the sand, right? So in the same way, Tathagata is the potential, like the sand is potential, for observing this process, Buddhahood. It isn't Buddha, but it is the potential for Buddha and your path to discovering through your own insights and life path what and how and when Buddha is. Well, that's very individual to you. Your bucket, your shovel, your spoon, how much water are you putting in it? Yeah, so that Tathagata is this nature, this potential, this condition, this tendency, and it takes form in the human mind. Not in a bottle, not in a piece of paper, not in a mandala, right? It takes form in the Gohonzon mind, the ultimate object of our practice is to open this Gohonzon, this Buddha eye, yes? Now, when this says all of the cosmos is enlightenment, everything that comes from Tathagata, the process of life, the engine of life, is itself opportunity to observe. It's with the Buddha mind, the Buddha eye opened, is all momentum happening, being, right? Verb, in that moment of creation. Every moment, moment to moment, moment to moment, right? It's a moment of creation, manifestation, instantiation, all kinds of words saying the same thing. And then, just like a wave coming in and washing away your castle and turning it back into sand, gone. But that potential and the amassed energy, that karmic freight train that you and I are, we continue to manifest. Manifest, oh, look at that. Oh, wave's gone away, make another one. Wave's coming in, make another one. Oh, wait a minute, I know how to do this a little better. It'll stand up a little longer. That's the benefit of keeping the mind engaged, because we improve the process, the engine of life, to be more adamantine, to be more resilient, to be more life-affirming, rather than letting those weaknesses in our freight train of karma take over. Right? Those are destructive forces. Not that destruction is bad, but when you're experiencing life, they get in the way. They cause us stress, anxiety. This is why we practice, yes? Number 2, our experience of the cosmos is obfuscated by Mara, or the powers of the mind of craving and clinging, samsara, that prevent us from the enlightened truth of experience. And this is what you'll read in all kinds of translations. The word evil is used to mean. It's a very Western. I would like to find a better word. In most cases, we use like defiled or negative. Anything that Buddhism talks about being, quote unquote, bad, it's not because bad karma. That's not it. Right? Karma is just the energy moving us through time, space, right? It's momentum. So it's neither good or bad. It's either constructive or destructive. And that's, stars explode. They make black holes. This is the process of life. But our minds, our sentient minds, our monkey mind, likes to latch on to things, and that prohibits us from experiencing joy. So in that way, not so good. We want to experience joy all the time. Yeah? Opening the Buddha eye of the mind is the solution to clear the mind of samsara and thereby experience the truth of the engine of life. From moment to moment, and please see the 3,000 realms. I have this new this new sensor now that tells me when my glucose levels are getting too high. Yes, thank you. Talking to robots. This is life now. Ugh, these pockets. Sorry for my samsaric struggles here. Buddha-ness is seen as a jewel of truth, as in the parable of the wealthy man and the poor man, and here as the 7-jeweled treasure tower. Right? The discussion in the Lotus Sutra on the treasure tower is the 7 precious jewels. Right? Very samsaric, but you got to take into account the audience. 3,000 years ago, the audience wasn't terribly sophisticated. And Buddha was talking to the general public, everything from the lowest caste to the Brahmin caste, in India. So a lot of uneducated and, from really slaves to agrarian workers and merchants. And again, as I said, Brahmin class, there are classes in between. I don't know, the whole social structure has changed over the years, but it still exists. Because of the treasure tower of the 7 jewels, as captured by Nichiren in the Namu Myoho Renge Kyo 7, of the Daimoku, the treasure tower is also within the embodiment of our flesh and blood body, our mind, and the potential for the experience of enlightenment or Buddhahood. Buddhahood is the individual experience of the one universal truth, the experience of the engine of life, the experience of Buddha. The treasure tower also represents Shakyamuni's teaching that whenever the Myoho Renge Kyo is taught, wherever it is taught or practiced, is itself the stupa of the seven jewels. For Nichiren practitioners, this is represented as twofold. One, our own 5-foot body, as Nichiren would say. Our Butsudan, containing our mandala of the seven jewels of Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. So this Butsudan exists for more than a simple piece of furniture. Some say it's to protect our mandala. But it is, in point of fact, a representation of the stupa, right? Wherever this teaching is practiced or exists, the stupa stands not only for protection of the seven-jeweled treasure tower, which is your mind, but it represents honor, respect, dedication, determination, and a samsaric focal house, housing, therefore protecting, our very Buddhahood. That Butsudan is a physical manifestation of our mind. So people ask me, where is the mind? It's not the brain, so where is it? Where is it? Is it between the ears? Is it under my foot? Where is it? It's in the Butsudan. Okay? And it's reflected, so we can see it, in the mandala. It's not the mandala. It's not the Butsudan. But those are the tools we have to instantiate our awareness, to observe within our sentient mind this state of Buddha. And finally, the treasure tower is the sentient mind's potential to experience the Buddha of life. Nichiren terms this the ultimate objective of Buddhist practice and named Gohanzan. So this treasure tower, embodied in the Butsudan and mandala, is Nichiren's representation of this ceremony in the air, in the sky. And you can read about that, of course, in not only this book, but in the Lotus Sutra, the ceremony in the sky, the treasure tower, what's it called? The apparition, the appearance, there's different translations, of the treasure tower. That whole set of chapters, actually, about everyone raising up in the air, the treasure tower appearing, opening of the treasure tower with Shakyamuni and Tahoe Buddha sitting at the top, Tahoe being the many treasures Buddha, right? The potential of the mind, all appearing upon the honorific, the practice, the engagement with the seven precious jewels, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. So, as I said in the video you can find on here, using that center search for this channel, Presence at the Butsudan. You can also read about it if you go to threefoldlotus.com on the core study materials page. There's a button there called Presence at the Butsudan. There's even a shortcut button for instantiating that presence, that engagement with your mandala. This idea that we prepare our thoughts, our mind, for being in that ceremony. That's what we're doing. Nichiren uses that kind of an analogy all the time. When he says in his letters, I'll meet you at Eagle Peak or Vulture Peak, this is what he's talking about. In essence, and that's another way to visualize this, when you sit yourself, take a breath, get ready, light your incense, light your candles, turn the light on, get a nice bright light on your mandala, puts it on open. Okay, I'm going to chant now. I'm going to do Gongyo now. Consider that as you do this, Nichiren comes over. Hey, bud, let me chant with you. and he sits down behind you, next to you, however you want to visualize it, says, okay, let's do this. Feel that presence. You can feel, and you can visualize this. I'm very visual, so I can visualize this so profoundly. But we're all different, so visualize your own. Don't get too crazy with it. But just the point is that Nichiren created this mandala as a tool to shut down the monkey mind, samsara. Right? So that's why any teacher that tells you, think about this or think about that, or wish for this or wish for that, or ask for this or ask for that, they're so incorrect. The last thing you want to do in front of your mandala is think of earthly things. It's the exact opposite of what we're trying to do. What did Nichiren say? He said, single-mindedly consider Buddha. Single-mindedly meet Buddha. How do you meet Buddha? Well, Buddha is your own mind's capacity for observing this process of life, this engine of life happening moment to moment to moment to moment. Why do anything else? That's the purpose of your practice, enlightenment. Oh, I want a Camaro, dude. Shut up. That is so not Buddhism. You want to do that? Go pray. Right? Go belong to some cult. That's not Buddhism. Man, Nichiren's constantly hammering away at this. So is Shakyamuni. It's his one biggest hurdle in Mahayana Buddhism is to get his monks that have been practicing with him for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, even since he started 40 years ago, and in his time, not now, but to stop thinking of merit like Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts. I got my Daimoku badge. I learned Gongyo. Look, I got this medal. Do you know Buddha? Every time you sit and chant, you should be enlivening your Buddha nature. And I say your not because we individually have different Buddhas. We're all instantiating Tathagata, our awareness of Tathagata, but all of our minds are trained differently with different karma. So we have to zigzag our way, that's why it's called a path, with insights to get to those 7 jewels. So that we can experience Buddha-ness. Yeah? We'll all experience Buddha-ness via our own life path. That's your only concern. All that other stuff, samsaric stuff, it's going to take care of itself. Do not worry. Worry, wishing, that's samsara, that's craving and clinging. Why would you go to your mandala to awaken the most profound capacity of your mind to get bubblegum? What are you doing? Right? Stop. Please stop concerning yourself with worldly matters when you are working so diligently to manifest enlightenment. That's the only thing you want. With enlightenment, let me put it another way. Somebody invites you to go into this huge home full of precious objects and treasures. Some of those precious treasures are a do not pass go, collect all your money. They're ways of instantiating joy and happiness in your life you don't even know the potential of. But you have to know where to look, because if you don't look in the right place, you might fall down into a basement, and the stairs may fold into a slide, and it's going to be hard as hell for you to get out of there. So you have to be able to discern what are the good things and what are the potentially harmful things. And they say, but here's the catch. You can only go into this house when there's no moon out and it's pitch black out. And you've got to stumble around in complete darkness. All the windows are boarded up. And you just got to make your way through it. All the wishing that you're capable of won't prevent you from touching a latch or opening a drawer that spells doom. But what if I told you all you have to do is focus your mind, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, and what will immediately appear in your hand is a very powerful flashlight. What are you going to do? Enlightenment, yeah? All right. Treasure Tower. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. Links in the description if you're looking for ways you can do that. To all of you who've been supporting this channel, the whole resource, the reason I was able to do podcasts, and I'm working on this book right now, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. I can't express my appreciation for your support, not only for me and this resource, but everyone who benefits from it. The entire Sangha owes you a tremendous debt of gratitude, right? Thank you. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Take care of your health. Enjoy your practice. Suck the marrow out of it, yeah? Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.